Why in the hot summer. So first up, I've got a roof sunshade right here. This guy is actually been hard to find. There's so many of these roof sunshades, but they all are this netting that lets a lot of light and heat through. And this is one of the only guys I've found that actually has a solid barrier. Plus it's got this metal coating to help reflect out extra heat. So the glass Tesla roof is supposed to reflect a lot of infrared, but if you notice, if you put your hand up there, you can just feel it, it's hot and it's radiating heat down into your car. And that's just because it's sitting there baking in the sun and the roof is actually hot. And so a lot of that heat is going into your car. And I think this guy actually helps reflect it back up through the roof and out of your car. I definitely notice it keeping my car cooler. Plus, the cool thing about this guy is it's actually got that netting also. It's just behind this. And there's just a little elastic band that you clip right here, and that pulls it, so it's the opaque version. So you can have either one. You can have the netting or the opaque version. And this guy actually will fold up nice and small, and then you can put it in a bag that it includes in the trunk. So to fold it up, all you do is twist it and then twist it in on itself. And it has like kind of like a butterfly shape right here. And then we've got the bag. Also, I like having two, one for the front, one for the back, because on long road trips, maybe I want to put shade in the back for the kids so they can sleep, and I can see out of the front, out of the roof and see the stars at night without having the one in the front. So anyways, you can store these in the car. They get really small. And these are kind of hard to find. I'll have a link to these in the video description down below. Next up, I want to show you a sunshade for the windscreen of my Model 3. They also have these for Model Y. But this guy is really good. It's probably the best sunshade I've ever owned. It's super stiff, so it doesn't bend or sag when you have it up there in the heat. A lot of these will get soft and bend and fall out of the window, so then there's no point to having it. This guy also fits really good to the Tesla windshield. It blocks out most of the light in there, so it's nice and dark. People can't see in. Now, these guys cost a little bit more, but it's so worth it because it's so much better than pretty much all the other shades I've used. This is actually the first accessory that I bought for my Tesla Model 3, and it turned out to be really good. They're out of stock a lot of times, especially when it gets really hot in the summer, so if you see one available, I would recommend buying it immediately before they get sold out. And finally, we've got this guy right here. This is actually another windshield sunscreen. This is the one I had for my previous car, and it happened to work in the Tesla too because my previous car was a Toyota Camry hybrid. It also had a huge windshield, but this guy is so compact and light. It works really good, and it doesn't sag either because it's kind of spring-loaded like the roof sunshade. But it goes like this. You just unfold it. It's got a little slot for the mirror. You can Velcro it right there if you want to. But the cool thing about this guy is, again, it's got that metallic coating to help reflect out the infrared. It does a pretty good job of keeping it cool, and it's so lightweight. Now, I actually keep this also in my Tesla. I keep it in the trunk because it's just so little. It takes up zero room. And if I ever need shade on the side, like say camping and the sun's rising up, you just want to block that window off. Probably one of the main reasons I don't use this from day to day is because it's kind of a pain to fold up and take back out and fold up and take back out every time you run to a different place. But it's not bad, but it's just a little bit cramped in the driver's seat of the car when you try to fold it up. So let me show you how to fold this guy up. So just twist it and then you kind of fold it back in on itself. And so you got like 3 loops here, 1, 2, 3. And then you can stuff that into this little bag. But yeah, it's not the easiest, quickest thing to do. I mean, imagine doing it in front of your steering wheel. It's even harder. So I still like it, and I recommend it just because it's cheap and light. But anyways, you got this little pouch and super lightweight. Okay, let's go out to the car and see how they fit. So now I'm gonna go ahead and put this into the car under the roof. I use these little clips right here to connect it on, and I'll show you how to install it. Okay, so we just line it up with the roof. Put the curved side up into the front there. And I'll just go ahead and stick one of these little clips in. So I've got these installed in the front and the back glass roof. And really the only downside to them is when you're going and you have the windows down, sometimes you can kind of hear the top part flapping around a little bit up there. So if you're gonna go on a long trip with the windows down, you might wanna take them out. But other than that, there's really no downside to them. So now I wanna show you how this windscreen sunshade goes in. These big ones are a little bit tricky, but after you use this a couple times, you get really used to it. So all you do is extend it like this, flip out those edges, and then kind of pry it down a little bit off the top of the screen, and just put it in, and then pop down these shades. And you'll notice it's nice and stiff. It's not sagging in the middle here, or bending down, and then it goes all the way out to the very edges here, so you have it nice and dark in the front, and it's basically custom made for the Tesla. Okay, to take it down, it's pretty easy, but it's a little bulky, so the first time or two can be a little bit of a pain. Just basically drop this down, and then I kind of just fold it as I go, like that, and then I store it in the back seat, right underneath where people's legs go. And finally, we've got this guy, and I just like this guy because it's so small and portable and lightweight. Just pop it out of here, unfold it, and you've got your sunscreen here, and this one is also nice and big for the Tesla Model 3. It also works on a lot of other new cars that have large windscreens. So this guy is very versatile. You can use it on any car. And you can see it covers most of the windshield pretty good. It's a little bit more of a pain to put away, so if you're going like this store to this store to this store, sometimes it's just worth it to use the big one. But when it's sitting for a long time, I actually like this guy a lot. And then again, it's got that same reflective coating on there. And to put it away, just fold it in half. Then you're gonna twist it and then kind of twist it in on itself a second time. And it takes a couple times to get it that quickly, but after a little bit, it's not bad at all. The hardest part is probably getting it into this little stuff sack here. Also, if you've got someone in the passenger seat, it's a little bit harder because it's kind of on their lap. So anyways, stuffs down to a nice little bag, and this is a good option as well, and it's fairly inexpensive.